Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dana Moraro with Tahoe Signature Properties. We are here in the beautiful Lake Tahoe in California. I'm also a board member with VRNation. And for those of you who don't know who VRNation is, we're an organization with roots in the Northwest that was founded in 2010. Our mission is to elevate the STR industry through education, networking, and advocacy with a strong support for property managers. We host bi-weekly webinars, weekly podcast that is designed to keep you learning and growing and connected with the community. Today, we have Maran with Boom. He is the Chief AI Officer, and please help me welcome him to the webinar.
Hey, Dana, thanks for having me here.
Of course, thank you. Looking forward to this conversation. Very exciting, actually, because I'm deeply, well, I don't know how to phrase this. I guess involved and learning about AI, and I'm very excited about your guys' product too.
Amazing, amazing. So again, a very close topic to my heart. As the one in charge in Boom for the development of AI, and Boom is one of the leading forces within the industry on AI development and how it is integrated within one property management software, which is a one-stop shop and actually consolidate all of that experience together.
It's amazing.
I would like to start basically with where do we see 90% of the industry today? So we are engaging with lots of property management companies, usually managing 50 to 70 properties and up. And a common thing that we see around this industry today is we are hearing lots of complaints about, first of all, labor costs are high and getting higher, and it's getting really hard to find skillful staff to operate your business. 90% of the tasks and operations are still manual, so lots of Excel sheets and basically drowning with reporting and analysis. And we see that the team is practically drowning in those kind of day-to-day operation, keeping the business alive and running and barely keeping their heads above the water. We see that AI is getting there. AI is getting to businesses, is getting to every piece of our life those days. But current AI is disconnected. We are seeing people using ChatGPT or Claude, doing a copy paste from one system to the other. We are seeing some bolt-in AI that are taking care of some of the problem, but currently, the main thing is that existing tools do not talk to each other. So we see a breakage mostly in the data layer. And that's a very important piece for our continuation of the discussion. Now, basically, our vision in Boom is imagine all of your tools, all of your basically tool chain is talking together and actually think together with all different parts of the business to bring you the result you are wishing for. So that's kind of the concept we are aiming for. And the main trend that we are seeing right now is actually three. So basically, before I jump over, then any insight from your side, like do you feel the same on your business? How are you experiencing that?
That's a very good question. We manage about 50 high-end properties here in the area. And to be completely honest, between Track, Breezeway, Akia, Dialpad, it definitely is a challenge to keep above water, especially once we hit the busy season, because you get, reservations are in Track, communications in Akia, something comes up during the communication, you got to enter it in Breezeway. So those are all steps the team has to take. And before I started looking at your guys' system and others out there that implement AI heavily these days, I was contemplating, oh, maybe there's a way for me to automate this also with AI by using, what do you call them? Certain integrations. I forget the exact name. To where, if a task is, if track triggers something, then Breezeway creates a task automatically, but that requires access to APIs from the everything that I've been able to gather, and not all the companies are open to providing that, right? So that's as far as I got with my research, and then looking more into it, your company comes up along with others that are out there. But to me personally, it's hard to understand the difference between your product and say Journey and say what Guesty offers, if I'm allowed to name others, right? Because it seems like the difference between the AI capabilities is different. Am I making sense? So
I think it's
leading
up to
into your session, I guess, is what is actually the difference between what your AI capabilities, your system's capabilities are, and what, say, Guesty offers or Journey or all those other companies.
Okay. So again, I wouldn't dig into Journey or Guesty products because again, I'm not super familiar with latest development. But what I would cover, at least from my perspective, are the different types of AI systems, different types, and basically their capabilities and what can be achieved for them. And basically also the requirements, what is needed from your system in order to actually implement AI effectively. So I think basically connecting those 2 points can give you a really good idea of what you are getting on any of those platforms. So what we are seeing today are three main trends on the market. Again, something that has started lately is vibe coding. So we've got all of those miraculous coding platform like Anthropic's Cloud Code or OpenAI Codex, which allows accessibility to code and engineering that wasn't there before. So today, let's say regular people, which are not software engineers, can actually go and produce software by their request. Now, obviously sounds miraculous and amazing, which it does, it does, but it does involve some challenges with it. So in order to produce a quality software, it is not just the base functionality. It is also elements like change management, like reliability, like API changes. And basically companies which are not software engineering driven would find it very hard. So they may be able to produce a really kind of, let's put it, amazing artifact to begin with, but keeping it going, extending it, and basically making sure that all the features that you need is there would become very, very complicated. Is making sure that when you change something or add, you are not breaking existing functionality, that you are not harming your current capabilities. So it's a very tricky path for someone who is yet not software engineer. Perhaps in the future it will get involved. Also, the availability of, as we were mentioning before, API and the access to them, a reliable access to them, could be tricky as well. So it's a nice path to kind of start exploring and start seeing the capabilities. Very fragmented though, and very fragile. Another trend that we are seeing is bolt-on AI. So basically, it's another provider like your Breezeway or like your, I don't know, whatever third-party vendor that basically lies on top of your PMS and just provide some very specific AI functionalities. So whether it's guest communication or review management or listing description optimization, but it is very, let's call it niche and specific function that it comes to play. The main limitation with that is the connection to the multiple software. So as we all know, as property management companies, we need sometimes, as you were mentioning, Dana, before, working with multiple systems and making sure that they are all talking to each other. And usually what we see is that this part of taking different software and trying to combine them together is a little bit clunky. And this is where we want to actually create this type of native AI. This is where actually booms come in. Now, the main focus is that the entire system is designed that way that AI would have access to all the layers. Now, if we talked a bit about like that concept is basically building the data layer, building the data layer for the AI to be capable of making informed decisions. So as us all managers, if we don't have the right data, it's really hard to make the right decisions. And what we are seeing today on the left is that we see this pile of tools that are not really well connected. And what we've done in Boom as the first step is to create this operating system where all the pieces of the business are actually connected together, whether it's obviously reservation, distribution, guest experience, owner reporting, accounting, finance, booking side. So basically everything, communication, everything sits in one place. So let's say basically a guest complains about something, he wants to make a reservation. So you can check your entire departments, whether you've got like additional booking or you've got a maintenance call that has to happen this day because it's connected to your ops or to see the financial aspects. So basically all of the data layers are glued together and allowing the AI to take an informed decision. Make sense?
So the difference between what other companies are implementing, the legacy systems, when they add AI, say to just review management, right? And what you're describing is that AI is only able to be in the review management and doesn't have access to anything else. Is that what I'm gathering?
Usually
Okay.
that's the situation. And also think about review management. So you've got a review. It's not just the matter of replying to the guest. It's actually inspecting what happened, perhaps opening a service call based on those complaints to remediate the situation. So also, if you take like review management as a base, it includes multiple subsystems that needs to work together in order to provide the full experience there.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, and what we are coming in right now on top of like basically Boom has all of those let's call it specific agents. This is where we started with, like a very specific focus mission AI. Basically an agent that comes to perform a certain mission, but it has all the access to all of the different subsystems and capable of doing action. So this is like Agentic. Agentic is basically, it's not just replying to the guest, but it actually can being able to open a service call or send an information or act according to a policy, escalate so it can take actions. And the latest thing that we built, but perhaps I'll spend a couple of minutes on it later on. So basically where we see agentic AI work is around guest communication, review management, service call owners, but also combining all of those together. And this is where we come with BEM, which is the Boom Autonomous Manager. this is the agentic AI that is not coming to serve the guest or the owner or the review management. It is coming to serve you as a property manager. Think about your most capable employee that is just capable of going through the system and collect the business case or the logic or perform an action that you wish to do in a very language-oriented manner without the need to operate any UI or jump between screens and such. Any questions before we jump to some examples just to show you around what are the capabilities?
So I guess what you're describing is that, say a review comes in that says everything was great, but missing, I don't know, light bulbs as an example. Then the AI that Boom has built has the capability of picking up that, creating maybe a maintenance task or a work order
Amazing.
automatically, and then
Yeah.
also maybe notifies the team. What's that workflow looking like?
I think, Dana, this is a great segue. Just to show you how does it look. So is my screen comes clear right now? Yeah. So for example, this is the review management console, right? So basically every review that comes here is being automatically analyzed. So instead of you or your team needs to go to the review, perhaps translate from a foreign language and see where the problematic points were, take this 4 stars booking.com review. So public review was great, but lingering smell, likely caused by a dump. So basically, a good review that has some good indication is also like bad indication here. So also in a good review, you are capable to filter out the issues. An auto-generated reply on the guest language is generated where you can basically send it automatically or manually to the channel. And also a maintenance desk was created for the smell issue and the dump and lingering smell. And basically every review is being analyzed like that, and you can immediately see what challenges you've got in your portfolio and what do you need to address in order for the next guest not to have an issue there. Okay, so that's kind of the concept. So you've got like a full cycle of review management from sending a reply to the guest, pinpointing the issues, and also creating the task automatically and tracking them within a single system. So that's kind of the very base concept of the review management agent. So this is where we started with, basically. So this is kind of the base. I was talking a bit about the CRM, about the guest communication. So our CRM basically include like unified messaging for WhatsApp, SMS, email, direct channel communication. So you've got everything into one place. And the concept is that basically a message comes in. For example, this is via booking.com. You, as an operator, you immediately can translate it. So you can see like what's the translation in English. And basically an AI. So for example, here, hello, I really enjoyed getting to know the country. The apartment is nice, but the bed was very bad state. Can't move a leg without bed cracking. Okay, so kind of a complaint. And what we see the AI did here, like as one example of direct communication and what the AI capabilities. So basically, he composed a message to the guest in his own language. Thank you very much for sharing with us. I'm really sorry that the bed wasn't comfortable. You're absolutely right. So we see the message. In addition to that, it changes the sentiment level and dropped it to 2. So this guest is not happy. This is visible to you and the team. He put an escalation on that so the team would be aware of it as well, that there is an issue. And he also created a service call. Guest reported that the main bed is in a very bad condition and extremely squatty. So again, basically you've got like a full cycle here, and this is our objective. Our objective is basically take the common things that you and your team are doing on a daily basis and just allow you to focus where you need to focus. So kind of all the routine tasks that you are doing on a daily basis are lowering down, and you are available of taking care of more strategic part of your business, keeping your head above the water and focusing where you need to focus. So this is the guest communication. We've got one for owners, we've got one for the contractors. So basically full cycle support for the inquiry sales. So basically everything is also working according to your company policies. So the way that you are doing check-in, check-out, early check-in, whatever discounts perhaps for direct booking. So you can basically feed everything as policies to the AI agent. And similar to how you kind of educate new employee on how to work within your company, it's just that you can get a very consistent way of performing. Now, it's not a black box. That's important to remember here. So everything is visible. It's not like the AI is getting you some answer and you don't know where it's coming from. So we've got like the chain of thought here. So you can get an understanding exactly what was the line of thought of the AI and how it produced this answer. So if you need to tweak something, you can exactly know where it is coming from and what is the reason. It also has the confidence element here, meaning that he only answers for questions he has high confidence in. And if he doesn't have the enough confidence, he wouldn't take it. And he also give you like the confidence factors. So you get like a very elaborated way of understanding, why did he answer this way, or what do I need to change in order to answer better? Okay?
We have a question here, if you don't
Sure.
mind. Using the same example above, let's say the fridge was not actually broken. We just had to ask the guest to check the breaker box and flip it up. How is Boom AI recording or taking action on this sort of decision making? I think I know the answer, but you go ahead.
Sure. So basically, the AI have multiple data sources. So first of all, you can give it like elements of knowledge base. So you can extend the knowledge base. So you can put like a video of the brake system of the electricity box and basically tell him this is a common thing, and if it happens, go to the circuit box and try it out. You can add like a policy for how do you call it when you try to remediate things or asking for pictures before actually opening a service call. So it's very, very flexible and it is adaptable for your needs. Basically, just to show you an example here. So if we go, just to show you an example of the configuration of the AI to give you a better view. So each agent here, let's take the customer support that we've seen, basically has a basic configuration. So you can answer which time of the day does he answer automatically, where does a human would pick it up as a co-pilot, the communication style, response, use signature or not. The main thing here is the policies. So basically every aspect here you can define like, okay, how do I treat early check-in request, late departure, and basically all of those policies can be automatically generated also by AI based on past conversations. So you can actually go generate the policy, see how the company is actually working now. Sometimes it's sometimes surprising from the result, but then you can amend and remediate exactly what you want. In addition to that, every house, every listing, let me jump into that. So basically every listing within the system has like a Google Drive with all the information about the properties. So perhaps let's take a different one. So arrival instruction, departure instruction, how do I operate the projector or the oven? So, and the AI can serve all of that as videos, as pictures, and as text instructions. And so everything is really accessible. So for example, here you can see like the lounge, if we jump into that. So this is about the music and entertainment system, and we can see like all of the videos and pictures and such, and how the Samsung soundbar works. Now this would appear in the guest book, as well as the AI know how to serve it. So this is kind of the concept of the different data sources we have. We can also define frequently asked questions for listings. So basically, all of the data is there and the AI knows how to serve it. And you can define the exact policy you want.
So it's as smart as the information you provided, basically.
So
If
yeah,
if you
exactly.
do a good job fitting it information, it's going to do a good job for you finding the information and then sending it to the guest or whoever's asking the questions, right?
Definitely, definitely. Again, it has all the distribution, so all the distribution info. So all the info you've got in Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, whatever, is basically consolidated. So it has all that information already. But if you want to enrich it with, amenities, videos, and such, this is basically just taking care of your property database once, let's call it this way, and it can serve then very effectively later on.
There's one more question. Could you take just one of these pieces of information and show how you actually train the AI? But that's actually the process of training is by providing the information. So I guess what I've gathered, and thank you, because this was eye-opening for me a little bit too, is agentic AI. And the topic of today's discussion is the power of this type of AI is that it literally has access to the entire system. And before it gives a guest an answer, it actually goes through every single piece of information in your system, gathers the information, and then provides the answer. But then also it has information on previous answers, previous guests, previous communication.
Right.
So it has like, what's the best way to put it? Like an ecosystem that works within. So it brings it all together, and then it provides the answers based on past communication, but also everything that it finds in the system. Is that right?
That's very true. But this was very guest focused,
Right.
right?
I get it.
So
Yeah.
what we've seen so far was a very mission-oriented agent. And what I would like to show you now is them. Basically, the agent that we were talking about before that is coming to serve you as a property manager. Okay, and I would like to share a couple of examples of like real life example of basically some of our real customer usage on a day-to-day basis. So this is, for example, morning BAM. Please do a deep dive into performance of listing nice Nautica. The owner has connected us to say he's not using it as much and used to understand what are the best options. Please, can you provide the last couple of years of performance in terms of revenue, guest reviews, expenses? So basically an overview, a listing overview. And what Ben actually did over here, and that's like, this is where we get to really agentic, is to go through and do like 360 of the property. So for example, you can see like the revenue comparison here. This is like the report it composed, the monthly breakdown across the different months, the expenses breakdown, guest reviews for that period, review of the options. So basically like a full, very deep analysis that would actually take you to output a very long time. and now it's basically becoming in a matter of minutes. So this is mostly around reporting. It could be about any part of the system. Now, since the system is including all aspects of your business, you can actually go from a single place using human language, just ask about anything within your business. Another example is doing mass bulk actions. Let's call it this way. For example, this one, in this case, he wanted to assign the following owners to the property, and he just dumped like a CSV at BAM, basically saying I want to assign all of those properties to all of those owners. And basically what BAM did is going ahead and actually did all of that assignment instead of clicking between 40 screens, did it in one bulk. So this is another example of bulk actions and the ability to do like smart bulk actions. Let's call it this way, and not just all together. This use case was more around booking. So instead of going to the multi-calendar, this PMC wanted to give a list of property within 45 minutes of car look, including the amount of bedrooms in properties, and include properties and mark it down as 35 minutes. So basically, it created like a list of listings that could be applicable for a certain client. Later on, after producing it, on the chat, he asked, okay, where is it? And from this list now detail the properties that are available for 9 nights from 26 of May. And what we can see in this tab is that he went over all of those listings and marked up the one that was actually available. This one was blocked, and it gives all of the description of the reasons that those are not available. So very common use case that once we did, clicking through million screens, trying to analyze and bring it all together, is becoming conversational. It's becoming very open and very straightforward conversation with a very detailed answer with regards to it. It goes from here to basically deep level analysis of revenue across years. So you basically comparing different revenue across years, and also perhaps producing a QR code for your direct booking site. So BAM actually has lots and lots of capabilities. We can do it via open chat. We can do it, another option that we've got with operating BAM is basically an ability to do it from any screen on the system. So BAM is screen aware, is aware on which page you are. And basically, if I open this listing, for example, you can see like a BAM bubble here, which I can extend, and it has like also insights and such. But here I can ask, for example, what's the availability? So just as a simple question, but it understands the context on where I am within the system, which listing am I talking about, and actually doing the live check of what are the options, and again, like calculating again. It can be very complex. I kind of took simple actions. You can also see the chain of thought and the reasoning for it, and basically see the availability very quickly, very immediately without for that specific listing.
Is it capable of answering more complex questions like, is this listing fully optimized?
Definitely. So,
meaning, is it fully optimized to perform on the channels, or suggest some changes to the listing so we get some last minute bookings?
For sure, for sure. So I think you've touched a great point, and this is something that we are actively working on. It's not really so. Obviously, you can ask all of those questions. You can
Mhm.
ask projection questions. You can ask comparable questions. So the system is also connected to system like key data, so you can get and compare your listing to other listings as well. So it has this information as well. But what we have started building right now is actually capabilities of running audits. Now, again, it is not yet released, very in beta, very new, but I want to kind of just kind of share with you. We call it BEM Optimum. And the concept is here is to take all the different aspects of the company. So whether it's distribution, revenue, operations, and you can basically run audits. You can run, for example, distribution audit, channel and rules, content and SEO. So all the different segments that you as a property manager would like to explore deeper on a property level. And basically what Ben does is going over the different properties and bring up elements of improvements, okay? So for example, this one is around tags that does zero SEO, and now we can increase search visibility and add the different amenities to that properties that are available in this description to make it happen. Search impression and how to change the title, for example, and the change it would cause in order to optimize it. So these are the distribution aspect, right? On the ops side, for example, you've got like maintenance tests that are not completed, and you want to make sure that SLA is there for those critical. Open tests, too many open tests that are open, right? And such like perhaps a service code that is hurting the property. So basically, BAM can go over the listing statuses from all different perspectives, all different prisms that or different lenses that we are looking at the business and kind of explore it. Guest communication, owner reporting, revenue down. Okay, so again, these are just a couple of examples of kind of a deeper analysis that we kind of have a prescripted mechanism that allow us to go deeper. Obviously, you can get it with chat, but think about it if you get like it automatically brought up to you with all the different relevant KPIs for that department. So this is lots of experience that we've got basically also running in the past property management company ourselves, and actually knowing the details and the needs and the greeds of the business and how to combine AI in order to address them effectively.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Cool.
I think I want to keep running my business knowing that there are tools like this out there.
Amazing.
I'm not selling anytime soon. One last thing that I wanted to ask is, so say I have my Claude account. Am I able to plug in Boom into my Claude account?
So today you cannot connect it to cloud account yet. What we are doing right now, obviously you can connect it with the open API that we've got, but I think what would happen is that you're going to lose a lot of the capabilities because when we, again, I think this is very related to the infrastructure questions and the ability to bolt in or to connect with external tool to the system is a different level of integration. So the ability, the access that we give to our AI within the system is not something that we can allow outside with Claude to do. So it's like a much more close to the data access. It gives much more capabilities to the AI along with lots of mechanisms that basically we've built in order to do like continuous scheduling, and the connectivity to the other parts of the system, like the customer support agent and the review agent. So basically, everything is connected together. Your PMS is becoming your worker. So it's something that you can communicate with, you can talk with, and we are seeing great success with our customer base actually adopting it and getting into this new notion that I can just talk with my AI, with my PMS, instead of clicking through 100 screen and 5 different interfaces and all systems. So this is kind of the vision that we trying to bring to the table, with the vision of basically building an autonomous, like basically running your business more and more autonomously, instead of being with the heads just a bit above the water.
Makes sense. Thank you. Appreciate it. Do we have time to answer more questions? Well, I'm just going to read it. There is a question about if we're manually updating the training material to make sure AI is not giving, hold on, it's moving up. Sorry, my screen just went up. So I lost, okay, sorry. If we are manually updating the training material to make sure AI is not giving obsolete info to guests, then how AI is helping us? Here's a little more complex scenario. Hot tub is under maintenance. Guest A informed prior to check-in. Week later, hot tub is fixed. New guest B checking in. On 6/12, guest B reported that hot tub is not working again. Refund pending. Hot tub company says it was working. The temperature was not correctly selected. So we have a dispute to make sure we are not refunding anything here to guest B. However, the next guest need to be told about not exceeding a certain temperature. Another guest C checked in, reported the hot tub is not working, even on the temperature we ask them to set it on. How will AI handle the scenarios, and how much manual input will there be? Lots of back and forth, obviously, here.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. My answer would be very simple here. So to begin with, we are aiming to 75, 80%. Okay, there are going to be the 20% that you will need to take care manually, and you will need to make sure that the business is running. AI cannot answer everything. It can do basically track record. It can look at the history of how things happen and help you analyze. We are seeing customers doing that as well. Also for disputes and doing like the full analysis. This is really helpful on that part as well. But again, at the end, you can create like the automatic auto-learning mechanism, and we are also building those mechanisms in. But just imagine a scenario when 80% of your day-to-day tasks are simply being automatically done. I think that's kind of the vision that we want to focus as first stage. Then we're going to take care of the very hard 20%. So that's kind of the rough numbers.
So going back to the scenario as an example, so the hot tub broke, it got fixed a week later. I guess AI gets to a certain point where it doesn't have answers anymore. And my understanding is that question, it dispatches a human. So it dispatches your reservationist, right? And then a human takes over, correct? Over the conversation.
So exactly that. So the concept is to put the right guardrails, to understand where do you want the AI to handle the load and where do you want the human to kick in. So for example, in many of the cases, we see people put a policy that when dispute or money is involved, don't answer, just escalate to a human. Just to avoid this, initial kind of barrier to begin with certain topics. Obviously, when you've got the power to control the guardrails, you can define, what you want in with AI and what's not. And that's kind of the power that we want to give to our partners, to our users, is basically to craft the AI for their current comfort zone.
Are you able to import previous communication into Boom? So say I'm starting to use your guys' system from scratch. Obviously, AI needs to be fed a lot of information. There's a lot of value from previous conversations. Are you able to import some of that? Is there
So
a
yeah,
process?
it really depends on the PMS you're coming from. With
Mhm.
some, we've got like really seamless integration. Basically, we are pulling all of the data from. With
Mhm.
others that do not have the API, it's a bit tougher. So it really depends. That's my honest answer.
Okay, thank you. So I guess bottom line, it comes down to the more information you feed it, the better job you do at that, the better your AI is going to perform for you.
Yeah. The more coherent, relevant information, context. Basically, it's a context engineering. That's the kind of the technical framing of it. This is everything AI. So if you give the AI the right context,
Mhm.
it will give you a beautiful answer. If it doesn't have the right context, it will hallucinate. If it doesn't have the right guardrails, it will hallucinate. It will give you false answers, and that's exactly the mechanism that we put in place in order to make sure that we've got like quality responses.
So it's like hiring a person that hasn't been fully trained and you let them loose.
Yeah,
And
it's
then you
more
have
than that.
issues, right?
It's more than that. It's not giving them like your cell phone number in order to call in case of emergency. You basically tell them, take care of everything, make sure that it's working. And they will do everything to make sure that it's working if it doesn't have the option or the route to call you or let you know something, hey, something is wrong here, I need your help. So
Makes
it
sense.
really goes down to that level.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Amazing. So I think perhaps just covering. So we are giving an exclusive offer as part of the webinar, which is one free month of Boom, and feel free to scan this barcode and contact us, and we'll be happy to kind of have like a deeper meeting with you specifically around this topic. Perhaps just my key takeaways that I want you to take from this conversation. First of all, AI is here and now. I'm sure that you all know it. It's live and kicking. It's changing businesses. It's changing industries.
Mhm.
And from my perspective, also as a business, like we are a software business, it's really, really important to be on the train, to be part of this evolution, because things are changing dramatically, and those who wouldn't jump probably would stay a bit behind. Um, Second point is natural language. We are moving to a natural language world. You can talk to your business as you talk to ChatGPT, as you talk to other, with your business context. This is happening today. You can actually start doing it. There is huge revenue potential. Our concept is a human AI combination. So it's not like replacing your employees and such. The concept is scaling your business, is your ability to take more and more tasks and more workload that usually would take you much more and actually take your class A employees and multiply them. That's kind of the concept that we are and the methodology we are working on. And yeah, get early on board. So again, like as early as we can, we are already kicking off the game. Like we are already at like third generation AI, and things are moving forward. So we'll be happy to see you as part of the team.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This was very eye-opening and lots of good information. I'm sure I'll be reaching out
Dana,
after this.
thanks a lot for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Of course. Thank you. And thanks everybody for joining us. If you are not part of VRNation, I encourage you to become a member because there's a lot of great content that we're putting out. Also, VRNation just came out with our educational piece that's called VR Pro. It is open to everybody for free, and just sign up, become a member, and get everybody on your team to start learning and becoming a professional in this industry. Not that we aren't already, but we can all learn, right? I'm always learning new things. Thank you guys from Boom. Thank you, Moran, for joining and for all the great information. It's been great. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dana.